Oh, man, here I am. We are sober this Sunday and trying to do a show for you. Welcome to Out of Bounds with me, Johnny B, on BucksReport.com. Something that is, I don't know, kind of a learn as I go type of situation with all the controls here that I'm not used to, but we're going to figure it out. Phone lines are open if you would like to join me, 727-592-8518. Also, social media, you should be getting all over it. If you look down there at the bottom corner, Twitter at Johnny B Comedy, Instagram at Johnny B Tampa. Hit me up on all that. Of course, Facebook, you can find me, Johnny B Fans, on Facebook. And some of you folks are actually on my regular Facebook profile. But we are streaming on all of the Bucks Report platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and all that. Probably even Periscope and Web TV. I have no idea. So hop on. I will have some guests coming in with me tonight, and we're going to stick around. I don't know, hour, 90 minutes. We'll see how long it goes. 727-592-8518. And the stream link is up in the comments if you are watching us on all of them, so you can hop in. I don't even care how ugly you are. Look, they let me do a show. It's crazy. Right here from beautiful Valrico, Florida, in the Fat Cave studio. Right here with the nice ambiance and the Yankee candle burning in the background. So hop on in if you would like to. We're going to be talking what's happening with the Buccaneers. Lots of news, man. Even though we're in the off season and we're kind of in that lull between free agency and the draft and OTAs and all of that, there's still plenty to talk about. When you're the world champions, there's always something to talk about. And of course, there's news going on outside of the, of the Bucks that will sort of affect the Bucks. So we'll have updates on that too, and bringing in other folks to talk Buccaneers football. A lot of people are still coming off the adrenaline rush from last night's or yesterday afternoon's Tampa Bay Lightning win over the Carolina Hurricanes. A lot of people saying it's the best Lightning game they ever saw. I personally did not get to watch the game. I was keeping up on the score because I was outperforming the national anthem. Once again, shout out to the Tampa Bay Tarpons for having me and my co-host on my show, the Johnny B Show, on 102.5 The Bone. Will was out there with me with his dad. Good times. So if you were out there, the Tampa Bay Tarpons, great facility, Steinbrenner Field, great folks out there. Of course, a lot of people know it's the Tampa Bay Yankees minor league team. So it's always good to hang out with those guys. Before there were the Rays, the Yankees were my team. It was Tampa's team. So it's great to have them there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're a fan of BucksReport.com, and you are, then you've gotten to know a lot of the personalities that make their rounds. Let's bring in Tampa Bay Ray live on location, as he always is. I don't even know if he has a home. Let's bring him in.
I am homeless, Johnny. How are you? How you doing tonight, brother?
What's up, pal? How are you?
I'm good. And that's the reason why I'm always just bringing it from wherever I can, because here you bury the lead. The wife's not here, so I can have a little fun. No, I'm just kidding. So how you doing today, brother?
Good, man. Good. I'm hanging out here, trying to get my my gears in order here, make sure I'm doing everything right. I'm not quite comfortable with the controls yet. I want to make sure I'm still looking at the chat and I'm not, losing anybody or somebody's already popped in that said no Bucks, go Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, Drew Delashaw. I don't know where you were on February 7th, but we did that already. It didn't work out. I'm sorry, pal. You'll
We
get
already
over
went
it.
down that road, brother. And Johnny, what do you think about these Rays? They did it again, right? They lose to Texas yesterday, but then today they're down in the eighth, 1-0, and Kevin Cash just gets the boys ramped up, and they find that offense.
Yeah, it's over here on my monitor over here off screen, and it's amazing. You know, I was really wanting them to pull that one run out just to tie it, so we have a chance, and then it just 3 runs, and out of nowhere, and I think they just added one, if I'm not mistaken, or if that was a replay. I'm not sure, but it looks like it was a Rosarina, man, or what was that, Diaz? Oh no, that's a replay from another game, I think. Seth,
that's okay. Hey, yours fast.
I don't know. It just said 7-1. That might be this game. I don't know. I'm barely paying attention.
I'm watching you, but I'm like, yeah, we were out there. I did doing a little pre-show. I said I was the fluffer for the crowd tonight, getting them ready for the Johnny B Out of Bounds show tonight. But
nice.
Yeah, we're down here at Fergs. They're actually going to have. What do you think about that? And I hate to get too far off script, but what about this fight tonight between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather, dude? Is this like crazy or what?
I think most people feel like I do, that it's an exhibition, it's a money grab, it's fake. But at the same time, I want to watch it because I want to see if it really is, if it's fake, if the BS, But I don't know. I think we'll learn a lot. To me, I just feel like they're gonna try to, do some weird draw, or they're gonna have Paul win, so there's a rematch. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about it on my show on The Bone. It's like, what is the real plan behind this? I mean, because Mayweather, it's arguably the best fighter ever,
right?
Fighting a YouTube guy who has some power. He's a big guy. Him and his brother both can punch pretty hard, but yeah, just because you run fast doesn't mean you're going to be a wide receiver in the NFL. So I don't know. I didn't like the McGregor Mayweather thing was a joke.
Yeah.
So,
well, and at some point I was posing earlier, talking to Harry the Greek there. I was talking to him earlier. At some point, I almost expected to turn into Rocky IV, where Hulk Hogan was playing Thunder Lips and Rocky and Sylvester Stallone's running around the ring, because that's kind of like, that's the crossing of the lines, right? Floyd, old school Floyd Mayweather, it wasn't around for social media. I mean, he's been here, but it wasn't in his time per se, versus Logan Paul, who is basically all about social media. So where those two avenues cross, I don't think, and we were talking here the Greek night, there's a lot of bets on. There's a lot of wagers you can make on this bet tonight. 1 round, 2 round, 3 rounds. So at the end of the day, I'm not exactly sure what to expect, but like you said, it's kind of like a car wreck. You don't want to look, but you're like, I can't help but want to see what's going on over there. Yeah.
Or a fat girl dancing on Instagram. I'll watch the whole video. I don't care.
Hey, watch how you talk about my wife. All right. I'm just gonna. Oh, I'm kidding. She'd kill me.
Oh, I love a big one. The bigger the better for me. You know what I mean? They know how to find food and they can't outrun you, so it's good.
I think Led Zeppelin said it all when they said a whole lot of love. I mean, it's basically it's in a nutshell.
True story. I like how you slid nut in there. That's very nice. If you'd like to join Ray and I, hop on in. We're wide open here. I see we got a few viewers, but I'm not going to be happy until I get this thing up into the hundreds. I want hundreds of people viewing this thing every time I go on. I will tolerate nothing less than that. Much like I want people to come out to my stand-up shows. It's very depressing if people don't come out for it. So hop on here, click on this, share it with your friends, let them know what's going on, have them hop on. It's a feel good time. We're not a bunch of talking heads boring you with stats and whoa, what do you think the Bucks are gonna do with this way? We're fans, man. We're fans that talk Buck stuff. We pay attention. We're knowledgeable fans, but
right.
We're not here to bore your brains out. We're here to have a good time. It's a hangout. That's what this is. It's like the old chat rooms in AOL. You know what I mean? Like you pop in there and you try to find out people's age, sex, and location. And nobody told the truth, so you were getting catfish.
Catfish. I'm glad you said that, because I was like, back then catfish wasn't even a term, but there was more catfish in a Louisiana bayou back then. True story, Johnny. You're talking about getting those viewers, right? So to date, the biggest show I had for live views, it was a Sunday morning. It was 3 years ago. Johnny the Dean Professor, you know him. That's my walk-up music.
You like that?
Is that a caller?
Was that up? I was supposed to have that down. What an idiot jerk. Let me go to the phone lines. Hey, you're on with Johnny B and Tampa Bay Ray. It's Out of Bounds. Who's this?
How you guys doing? This is Todd from Winter Park.
Hey, what's up, Todd? What's going on with you?
All right, guys. How you all doing?
Good. I just heard a big clap of thunder outside my window. So if it goes dark here, we know what's going on. It was loud too. It was like
yes, sir.
Yeah, it's like
hey guys, I've been hearing. I want to get y'all's opinions. Been hearing a lot of great things about Jalen Darden, Joe Tryon, and then Giovanni Bernard is really going to fit in well with our running back there with number 12. So just want to get y'all's opinions on that. And if you know anything about when training camp dates might come out.
Oh. All right. I'll start with my opinion on all three of those guys, and I'll let Ray give you his. First of all, Bernard, I was super happy with that signing. Everybody thought it was going to be James White, but Bernard, I think, is James White with bigger thighs. I don't know if you saw these latest photos that came out from the OTAs, but his thigh muscle looks like Tim Tebow's bicep right now. It's not even real.
His leg is bigger than my arm.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And I really like Bernard a lot. I think it's a perfect fit for what we're doing. Funny thing is, I don't know if you read this or heard about this. Him and James White are actually really good friends and actually played high school football together and like middle school football together. So it's kind of funny that they had that connection there. So Bernard actually talked to James White before signing with the Bucs, and White would give him the thumbs up, like, yeah, Brady's awesome to work with. Don't let the the GOAT thing intimidate you. He's a cool guy and he's really awesome to work with. So Bernard was happy to come in, and he's one of these guys that really digs into the playbook, and he seems to be a really, really intelligent football mind. So I think that was a great grab for us. Maybe the best running back we could have gotten in the offseason. And once again, just piling on how good the Bucs are and the roster. It's just not fair what we're doing right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
And as far as Jalen, I have nothing but high hopes for this kid. He's being compared to Antonio Brown. He's looking like, there's really no weakness to his game. I mean, he's fast. He's a very skilled route runner, good head on his shoulders, never been in trouble, and coaches are glowing about him in college. So he might be one of these guys. I mean, a diamond in the rough. It's hard to even say that. He's highly touted, but he went to North Texas. So, a lot of people, they make poo-poo on the small schools, but I mean, come on. I mean, what was Godwin, a third round pick? And now look at him. Any team would pay, $18 million a year to have him. So wide receivers, it's kind of funny where they fall in the draft order and how they kind of slip in and out there. But
our wide receivers are scary. They're scary. The defensive coordinators are going to be staying up all night trying to figure out how to defend us, because we've got Pro Bowlers, we've got depth, we got 3 good tight ends. Who are you going to stop?
Yeah, and it's bad enough that these defensive coordinators, they're playing a game of chess with Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich and these guys. So they're worrying about what Brady's thinking. At the same time, they got to worry about the weaponry around him. And go not to get too far off, because I want Ray to jump in here. Tryon apparently looks like he's going to be healthy for training camp. He's going to look great. We don't know how he is going to, how he's going to play in the NFL. I mean, that transition, it could be fantastic. It could be mediocre. We don't know. As far as
yes, sir.
As far as his skill set, his body, and everything else. I mean, Todd Bowles says he passed the eye test. Which I was like, that's kind of weird to say about a man. But you know what? I agree. Yeah, I agree. Not only is he physically strapped, but he is handsome as hell. I think he's a great kid. I don't know if I read the report the other day where he's paying off his sister's school. She's going to medical school to be a doctor. He's paying all that for her. He's paying all his mom's debt off with his first NFL check. So he seems
awesome.
He seems to be a good guy. He's not out there.
Well, that's all you need to know about that kid, right? He's doing great things for his family.
Yeah, and developmental, like he couldn't be in a better situation. You know, we got the best staff. We have the absolute best staff for developing young talent. You can see what they've done with the talent that we have now. Some of these young guys who were doing nothing under Dirk Cutter, all of a sudden just start blowing up and really blossoming under Arian's tutelage and his staff, you know, that big giant staff he has. So I think Tryon early in the season, you won't see much, but I think playoff push time, that's when he gets a couple more reps, starts giving some rest to those older guys, and the sky's the limit. I mean, he's got all the tools.
And here's the thing, guys, is that, you know, the secondary was coming along, even when they had that dumpster fire of a defense under Mike Smith, but the secondary was our youngest unit. But they bring in Ndamukong Suh and JPP, and now you have Vita Vea and the linebackers. Levante's been here since 2012. But, you know, the scary thing is, as scary as that Buccaneers defense is, now you put him with this offense, and like you were just saying, Johnny, with Gio, Bernard, and the other pieces we have under wide receivers, I've said this, and it sounds kind of gluttonous to say, but would we be shocked if somehow the Buccaneers were able to finish 2021 both number one in offense and in defense? Because the two could conceivably feed off each other.
Yeah, the defense was they were gaining momentum in that last 7-game win streak. They weren't weakening. They were getting better and better. And in the Super Bowl, they completely took that game over. They dominated so unbelievably, and the offense looked great, but they've looked better. I mean, they did what they needed to do in the Super Bowl. Brady did what he needed to do, what his normal Brady thing, hit Gronkowski for 2 touchdowns. You know, Fournette had a great game, but they played well enough to score, you know, a fair amount of points. But they weren't like, you know, the 99 Rams. You know, they played good offense, but the defense they were suffocating. They were unbelievable, and they're losing nobody. And they come in even with more continuity. It's scary. They could be the number one defense, and the offense better be the number one offense.
Oh yeah.
When you have Patrick Mahomes running backwards like he did in the Super Bowl, you know that's how you know how good our defense played, and they were incredible.
Yeah.
All of them. I mean, all the guys: Barrett, Pierre-Paul, Devin White, Levante, Vita Vea. They were all tremendous, and then of course our rookies, Wirtz and Winfield, were tremendous. I mean, I can't say enough about the whole team, the coaches, the organization. Just an unbelievable job last year. And I just watched the Green Bay Tampa NFC championship game on NFL Network, and it never gets old.
It does not.
Yeah, I got all those. I got pretty much the last 8 games in my DVR, and I go back and watch them all the time. It's too much fun to watch that. I mean, I've watched the Super Bowl a dozen times. I've watched, I even watched the Redskins wild card game the other day because I had a gig that night and I was actually on stage.
Oh.
And I know, and it was a big gig and I had to do it. And I was on stage, and normally when I do a comedy show, all the TVs have to be off because I do a lot of bar gigs and things, and that's a rule. I don't care if it's Ferg's and there's 100 TVs. Turn them off during the comedy show. But that night it was keep the TVs on. As a matter of fact, I need one in view of the stage. And while I was performing, I'd be mid joke and go, first down. Okay. But I
don't know how you did that, because I'm watching the show and I'm not standing on a stage trying to do my act. And I was in that game it was hard to watch at times because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. What's Chase Young? What's Heineke? What's Heineken doing? The beer delivery guy. What's he doing at quarterback? I couldn't do that. Talk about a lot of plates in the air.
Well, I mean, I booked that show months prior, and it was sold out before the Bucs actually, you know, set the date for that game. So it was like, you know, what was I going to do? I was going to tell a couple hundred people, you know, it's not going to happen because we got to chase Heineke all over the field, you know. So, and it was one of those games where I didn't think we were going to have too much of a problem to win it either. So I just kind of kept my eye on it. It's kind of like babysitting a kid that's good, you know, just like, they can run around a little bit while I do this over here. But if it's kid you're concerned about, like, you know, the Green Bay Packers, I don't think I could have done a comedy show that night. So it was
kids are concerned about. Yeah, I got you.
Right. It was awesome. Well,
hey guys, what about Julio to Tennessee? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess that's a done deal. I don't know if he's officially signed yet. And that was one of the things I had in the prep here to talk about tonight, but I'm glad you popped it up so Ray and I can get on it. I say anywhere besides our division is fine with me, you know. Good.
Oh yes.
Get out of here.
He's been a killer to us. I mean, he's been a thorn in our behinds for years. And listen, he's a great player. He's getting older. The only thing I worry about Julio is he's injury prone, but the guy's still a phenomenal player, and I'm glad he's out of our division.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, especially with Atlanta, now they take Kyle Pitts in the first round, so now you have that legitimate receiver type / tight end, and now Julio. But of course, Atlanta Falcons being in the cap trouble they're in, they basically had to make the Julio move. So at the end of the day, it wasn't so much that Julio's given us with Calvin Ridley and such in the past. The Falcons have given us a hard time, but now that they have Kyle Pitts and they're starting to transform that offense a little bit, taking away one of those weapons from Matt Ryan, no issues here.
Yeah, I think with Atlanta, they're going to score points. They're one of those teams that's always going to put points up. The way you beat them is the way we beat them in the second half, you know, in that game where we really turned the season around. It was that second half against Atlanta. And the way you do that is you bring the house and you hit Matt Ryan in the face. And, you know, Devin White had 2 sacks in the second half of that game, I believe. And, you put pressure on him, and their team's not good enough to overcome a few mistakes. And they can't stop anybody on defense.
You feel kind of bad for him because Matt Ryan almost looks like he's going to cry. Devin White's running after him, Levante and Vita Vea, or they're blowing up the middle, and Matt Ryan almost has this look like, oh, where's my mommy? And you're like, as a Bucs fan, you're going, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you of...
They have not been the same since that Super Bowl when Brady came back and beat him with New England. Atlanta's not been the same team since.
Yeah. It's like I haven't really been the same guy since my second marriage. I know the feeling. You know what I mean? That kind of devastation can really, because I was winning that game too, and then all of a sudden, boom, I lost. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I was a favorite.
Right.
I was a heavy favorite. Hey Harry, what's up, buddy? I see you in the chat. You guys pop in on the chat if you have questions for Ray or I. We'll answer those too. Doesn't even have to be football related. I don't care. I'll tell you how to cook Brussels sprouts. It doesn't matter. Just pop in here. We're having a good time on a Sunday afternoon. Well, thanks for the call, man. This has been awesome.
Listen, guys, I appreciate it. You guys, good talking to you, Tampa Bay Ray. I haven't talked to you in a while. It's been a while.
Yes.
And
Thank
Johnny,
you.
You're doing a great job, brother. Keep it up. And do you guys have any insight on training camp dates? And I'll hang up. Have a great Sunday.
All right, we'll look it up and try to figure that out for you. Thanks, pal. Appreciate it.
And I can tell you this too, Johnny. We don't per se have those when they announce, but we will have it first. I mean, there'll be other outlets that are getting it, but as soon as they are available, those dates and or the times that they'll be open to the public, stay here at BucsReport.com and Bucs Report, and we will have those dates and times for you for sure.
Yeah, we definitely have cleats on the ground, as they say in the business. Hey, chill, Will. SMB or Dean long term? I am a big fan of both, to be honest. I have a kind of a soft spot for Sean Murphy Bunting because he follows me on Twitter and he's actually interacted with me a little bit, and I always love that. It's kind of like it humanizes these guys when they're not, when they're kind of like one with the people, and I like that. I like that about a lot of these guys. But he also plays his heart out, man. He's one of those guys that he's had some bad games, but he doesn't let it affect him to the point where he just collapses. I mean, you saw it with Hargraves, where once he started going downhill, he didn't come back from it. SMB was one of those guys that showed up in the postseason. Did he have a pick like 3 or 4 games in a row in the postseason?
Well, two.
Yeah.
I thought it was at least two, but it might have been three. But I'll tell you another thing about SMB is I got a chance his rookie year to actually tailgate with his family. They had all rolled up to Raymond James Stadium, and they were such a great group of people, and his mom, and they were taking pictures, and they were coming over, and they don't take it for granted. And that's the way he plays, Johnny. He doesn't go out there and take it for granted. He leaves it all on the field, and he plays with his heart on his sleeve, and that's what you like about Sean Murphy-Bunting.
Yeah, he had a tweet the other day, and it's hard to inspire me. I'm quite the cynic when it comes to everything in life, but he had a tweet the other day that fired me up, made me want to get up and get on my Peloton that I hang my rug on, and it was I'll paraphrase because I don't have it in front of me, but it basically said, instead of looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, I lit my own light or something like that. But when I read it, I went, that is Sean Murphy-Bunting in a nutshell. Yes, don't wait for something to come to you. Make it happen. And I think any successful person in the NFL has to have that kind of an attitude, because the competition is, it's all world class. So you can't sit around and go, what about me? And why aren't I getting my opportunities? You got to take those opportunities, and you got to make the best of them. It's like the Eminem song, you only get one shot.
Hey, and it's like
spaghetti.
But it's like Tyreek Hill, right? The Chiefs go back to ask him because the Buccaneers, they're all restructuring contracts, looking for option years to try to keep the whole gang together. And I'm not going to ever fault a player for trying to get his hustle on. They got their reasonings, but they asked Tyreek Hill if he considered doing that contract change too. And he's like, no, I'm not going to change it. And I'm not saying it makes him at the end of the day, makes him the worst guy, but from a team effort. And you talk about that Sean Murphy-Bunting tweet, not waiting for the light at the end of the tunnel, but creating my own, or lighting my own light. That's the exact attitude that these Buccaneers have to have in 2021, because, whether you call it a Super Bowl hangover or you call it a whatever, Todd Bowles says it. We've done nothing. We're starting from scratch, and they've got to do that mentality from day one, because that's the way you get back for that next Lombardi, and that's the way Tom Brady gets that 8th ring.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as Tyreek Hill goes, yes, he is a scumbag, and he is the worst in the league. I'll never like Tyreek Hill. I didn't like him coming out of college, when he beat his pregnant girlfriend almost to death and got kicked out of the major university he was in. And I mean, skill set is the only reason why he's in the NFL. He's a very good wide receiver, but as a human being, complete scumbucket. I mean, then he beat his kid, broke his arm, made him bleed. I got suspended a long time for that. I'm sorry, but I'll never forgive somebody for something like that.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
And he's still a douche, So when you see him on the sideline, you see him on the field, he's a jerk off. Everybody knows it. So if that's what Kansas City wants, if it's worth it to them, to have that cancer in their locker room, we've had that plenty of times. Here we've had the douchebags here. And one thing I could say about this roster that we have right now, this Super Bowl roster, I can't find a bad egg. I can't find this person that's got, this horrible track record, somebody that's been in trouble with the law or punched a coach or smacked his girlfriend up. Like, everybody seems to be really good locker room people, really good in the community. And I think that's what obviously Bruce Arians is going to demand that.
Yes.
And I think the Bucs as an organization got sick and tired of having those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 guys every year that brought the team down, whether it's somebody like Deshaun Jackson, that's beating stuff up in the locker room, or even worse, we had actual rapists on our team, like criminals on our team.
Yeah.
So that kind of crap, we dealt with for a long time. And I think the Bucs that's way in the rearview mirror. And now we have a team of just great players,
And that's what Jason Light was putting his team together. I mean, he's been putting his team together for 5 years, and that's why when you get Bruce Arians comes in with Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich, and they come in and Jason Light's already got that atmosphere. He's already got that. He's already putting those pieces into place. And then, bury the lead. You bring in Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, who does not need any more motivation because he's as self-motivating as they get. But that's the reason why 2020 was just so god darn special as a Buccaneers fan. If you can't, I mean, historically speaking, it's not just like, our team got lucky and we went 11-5 and, we got to the big dance and we snuck in because of an interception. We're talking on a historical proportions, this team will be one for the ages. And especially if they do it again in 2021 and continue on, you're going to be talking about this team for decades.
Yeah, and you know, the greatness goes beyond even just winning the Super Bowl. Like you said, you bring Tom Brady in, and I think a lot of people have figured out why. I mean, he's obviously the GOAT, but the thing that he brought was accountability. That's the thing that Bruce Arians brought. I love Bruce Arians before he was with the Bucs. When he was when they did the what do you call it? The training camp show on HBO,
Hard Knocks. Yeah.
When they did that in Arizona, and I watched him go in there and tell an offensive lineman if he parked in a spot, he was going to cut him. And just the way he approached the game, it reminded me of good, hard-nosed, old-school football in the best way possible. Not the old-school football where it's like, I'm going to not give you water till you die of a stroke.
Ray Perkins. That was Ray Perkins.
Oh, my God. 2-a-days. Yeah.
3-a-days. 2-a-days. You know,
yeah.
But, you know, I like the story of Bruce Arians, the Pittsburgh. They're going, he's the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh, and they're on the Super Bowl parade, and there's actual fans booing him because of the lack of a running game, and they were booing him because they thought Ben Roethlisberger was taking too big of a beating. I love that Bruce Arians said flat out the reason why, you know, he goes into a job interview, the reason why he does, of course, he fills in for Chuck Pagano there in Indianapolis and then ends up getting coach of the year, but he says the reason why he was so slow to be hired as a head coach is he doesn't play politics. I love that about Bruce Arians because the players all know that he's a coach that's going to have their back, and then turn it around, they're going to have his, and that's team chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, and right now we get to keep it together. We talked about obviously the big news is the roster, bringing back all the starters and even most of the backups we brought back. But the thing that a lot of people are overlooking is the staff. Normally you will lose when you win a Super Bowl. It's hard to bring back your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator, their staffs. I think we lost maybe a wide receiver coach who went to
Randall
Detroit.
L went to Detroit. Yeah, like
right.
one coach.
Okay.
Yeah, one guy.
I think we'll be okay. You know, so I mean, the Wawa by my house, they lose talent more than the Bucs did. You know, I think we lost one of the cashiers to the new racetrack station.
Speaking of talent, you should see the two walking into Ferg's right now. But I'll go there some other time. I'm kidding with you, JB.
No wonder you're away from your wife. Oh boy. Okay. No,
swing. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, you're talking about the fact that I said that when Todd Bowles doesn't get that interview, look at the coach that Houston hires or the coaches. I'm not putting these other coaches down. I'm not sure of their game, but I've done some research on them, and I'm like, you don't think if you go back and you don't say, hey, the Bucs are going to win a Super Bowl, they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9, and it's not going to be because of their offense, but it's going to be because of that defense. You don't think Todd Bowles should 100% have been one of the hires for one of these coaching positions this offseason. I'm not going to complain that he's not because we still have him here in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's the same thing. It's like, part of you is like, well, that's not right, man. He should have got an interview, but then you're like, but that's okay. You know,
we're okay.
I say the same thing about my girlfriend. I go, God, she could do so much better, but I'm glad she's not trying. You know what I mean?
I got you.
All the time, you just keep thinking I'm handsome, whatever. She just recently went and got her eyes checked and got glasses. So I think my time is limited now that she can see, Hey,
if you like it, you better put a ring on it. I'm throwing you under the bus, JP.
Yeah, I don't know. That worked the other two times I did that. Yeah, they stuck around. Sons of bitches.
Hey, they got to have a sense of humor. That's the first thing going in right there. If they don't have a sense of humor, then just, Katie bar the door.
Amen. Speaking of that, for you people that just popped in, somebody just messaged me right before the show started to see where they could see me do stand-up comedy. JohnnyBComedy.com is my website, so it's easy to remember, and my schedule's up there, and I'm adding more and more dates right now because things are opening back up, so it's really cool, and I do a lot of local shows, mostly local shows. So, I am in Palm Harbor this weekend coming up. I believe that's a free show, so that's going to be awesome at Divine Brewery. Then I'm going to be back out in Bradenton. I'll be at Motorworks a couple times this month. I'm going to be in Anna Maria Island this month, all over the place. So check it out. Come see a show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm going to be there, brother. And I'm sure people out there have done this before, but it's just something about live stand-up comedy. I mean, it's just something about it. It's, first of all, we're all there to have a good time anyway. But then, at the end of the day, you're laughing is one of the best things you can do for not only your psyche, but also from a physical standpoint. Get the heart going, get the laughs rolling. So definitely going to be checking you out for some of them lives.
Thanks, man. Yeah, like when I'm not on stage, I'm a fan. Like I like to go to other people's shows, and I'm constantly on on YouTube or Netflix or something, trying to check out any kind of comedy, because that's what it is. It's it's kind of like a break from reality. You don't go to a comedy show to think about politics or your bills or what your mother-in-law is saying about you or anything else. You go there to listen to somebody, hopefully talk about some relatable things, and then you can laugh about life together, So that's what I like to do. I talk about anything, being a father and ex-wives and all the crazy observations around me. And I think people relate to it. So, I mean, I'm very lucky to have the following I do. So I do appreciate when people come out.
And your podcasts are fantastic. So, and here, bury the lead. The production value on your podcasts are phenomenal. So, I mean, also definitely check out some of them podcasts. I mean, I've been listening to some more and more of the podcasts, and I wasn't much of a podcast fan. Not that I have a problem with them. It's just that with so many other things, I'm writing for Bucks Report, or I'm doing my day hustle, or doing this and that. But when I'm able to now, I'm loading a podcast, and I just loving it. So yeah, definitely. I know you enjoy doing that. Do you enjoy doing podcasts almost as much as you enjoy doing a stand up?
I mean, honestly, I got to get back on releasing the podcast. I've done hundreds of them, but with my terrestrial radio show, I've kind of put the podcasting a little on the back burner because, I'm trying to maybe make a career out of radio. I've been working at that for 8 years, and I'm still not under contract. I'm not complaining. If you're watching, bosses, everything's fine. But I really enjoy radio, and that's where a lot of my following comes from. So although I'm not making a ton of money at it, when I'm not making money, I'm gaining in people listening to me and enjoying what I do, which is very, very gratifying for me. So, and if you guys are just tuning in and you don't know where that is, 102.5 The Bone, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to midnight. And I do work hard at that, and it's a different thing, navigating these different versions of myself. My stand-up, is a lot different than my FM radio show, and then my podcast is a lot different than both of those. So it's like, there's different versions of me.
Have you ever had someone tell you that when you say FM radio show, sometimes it doesn't sound like you're saying FM radio show? Yeah,
FM.
Hey, I'm doing my effing radio show. All right. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm okay with that. It's not like any rules were broken. I think we're solid. But gotta be honest, Johnny. You and I can talk about this. To do this, what we do, and of course to do what you do, with the radio, and then of course the stand up. And I met my wife doing theater actually down here at St. Pete Little Theater. She's the professional actor. I was the one. I got the part because of my eyebrows, but loved growing up in theater. Yeah, it got me 22 years now and 3 kids later. I should have shaved those bastards when I was 17. But the thing about it is to do this, what we do, and everything. And to be honest, we've got to have a couple. We've got a couple of characters going on inside of our head at any given time, right? And sometimes one will win over the other, but at the end of the day, it's usually all pretty good.
Yeah, I talk about this all. I wish I could turn myself off sometimes because I do have these multiple characters going on like 24/7. Last night, at Steinbrenner Field, I was there, lucky enough to have the Tarpons invite me in to sing the national anthem.
Yes.
And I was in the dugout club, and it's really nice. It's kind of like their version of the Chase Club, and there's all this food and this open bar and these really cool people, and I go to get like a hot dog from this gentleman, and he's serving up the hot dog, and I can't just take a hot dog, my brain won't let me.
I know.
So he's like, would you like a hot dog? And I go, yeah, daddy. And then he looked at me like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I just shook my head. I go, I'm sorry.
You can't shut it off. You can't. My kids, it drives them crazy. Sometimes they're just like, and I'm like, even though a lot of it's dad jokes, it's pretty good stuff. My materials, I try to keep it fresh. I try to work in a little Gangnam Style. Isn't that like still a thing? But I try to keep it fresh. But my kids are like, oh God, and other people don't. But I can't turn it off either sometimes. But it's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm a filthy piece of crap most of the time too. My son's 21, and he's going to be a doctor. He's going to med school, and he's a good kid, but he's got a horrible, rotten mouth on him, And I can never be mad because I raised him. You know what I mean? So, just bad language doesn't mean you're going to be a bad person. It just means, but I did learn how to clean up my stand up. And it was not for the right reasons.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It was no. The show you'll see Saturday is not the clean version. But
okay, good.
I have a clean version, and it wasn't because I'm trying to be a better person. It's really for just selfish reasons. I needed to make more money because I found out a lot of these corporations will pay you a lot of money, but you got to work, within the guidelines of, the profanity and all that. So, I mean, I got to it was a gig about 5 years ago, and they said, "Hey, can you do like 25 to 30 minutes, like squeaky clean?" And I said, "No, not a shot." The guy goes, "Man, I really wanted you. We were going to pay you $2,000. I said, "I'll be there." "What are you talking about?" Yeah. What are you talking? I'll bring Jesus with me. What are we doing right now? Yeah, I'll figure this out, man. Yeah. So I started immediately writing my corporate set, which is really not that hard. It's like my normal material, but you just got to take out like all the sex and F-bombs and all that stuff. And then, okay, that's pretty much up my whole set. But still,
but I mean, you still bring the passion. That's what it is. As long as you still bring that passion, you got to make it. It's just like the movie, just the movie ratings, right? You can make it rated R all you want, 7 days a week and twice on Sundays. But you got to, if you get that PG-13 with just 2 F-bombs in there, you're going to a whole bigger, different audience. So you got to clean it up a little bit.
Amen. And I got to play to the old people, and that's the entire state of Florida. So
speaking of old people, Johnny Dean's got a comment here.
Look at that, Johnny B. Sup, brother? Can't keep up with your times, but I found you and got you shared. Thanks, Johnny Dean. Appreciate you, buddy.
He's the professor, my man. I'll tell you what, Johnny, I know your Tampa Bay sports and your Buck stuff, but you ever have a question or you need to work something out in your head, and talking about working things out in my head, I'll go to Johnny Dean, the professor, a lot, and he'll work it out with you. He'll call you an idiot while he's doing it, but he'll help you get there.
I like those kind of people that aren't afraid to call you an idiot if they need to. If you'd like to join us, 727-592-8518. Hop on in here. I'm trying out all the buttons. I took a call and it actually worked. I was very proud of myself because I'm Bluetoothing into my board and everything else. So trying to.
I was going to tell you a story earlier. Sorry, I cut you off, but it was a Sunday. And speaking of Johnny Dean Professor, it was about 2.5 years ago, and it was Sunday morning. Johnny Dean calls me about 8:15 because I do my hustle on Sunday mornings. A little cup of Ray, a little sojourn for the sports savvy soul. It's like old school times, and he goes, "Hey Ray, you may want to go on early." And I'm like, "What's up, Johnny?" He goes, "Well, the Jameis Winston's camp and the Saints have agreed in principle on a contract." Of course, that's when Jameis was, when he initially was going there, and they hadn't even signed it's raining here now. Now I look at it right here at the Ferg's Bar and Grill in St. Petersburg. I am that's the thing about the summer. It's hot and humid, but man, once the rain start going, you do have to mow the lawn, but it's nice to get these afternoon thunderstorms. But, oh dude, I'm sorry. I'm running off a tangent, but so I go live. I go 45 minutes early, 8:15, basically just start my show off. Now, Jameis is no longer a Buck, he's gone. And, I end up going with that lead, and I'm talking about the fact that Jameis's camp and the Saints agreed in principle. 7,000 live views on that show I did that morning.
Wow.
But that's just, you're on the air, and I don't want to say lightning strikes because it sounds like Jameis signing would be lightning striking. But, it's funny how that's how we do. We're just doing this thing, and sometimes you hit pay dirt, and it's awesome. But that's why we're doing it. We like to talk about the Bucs, and hopefully if we can break news once in a while, that just makes our day.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing about being in the right place at the right time. Even with like doing nighttime radio, from 9 to midnight, sometimes, some big things happen and we get to break them before the morning show gets them the next day. So,
yeah,
I mean, it might be a celebrity passing. It might be something that passed through Congress. It might be a sports update. You never know, but it's nice to be ready. And ready to go. And that's the cool thing about, bucksreport.com. We have enough guys, that are doing this in here to where if something happens, we all have access to pop on and and give an update. As long as we all know we're doing it, and we all hop on at the same time, and all of a sudden destroy the website. But yeah,
dude, that's one of the best things about being part of this Bucks Report, and I'll share it because the first thing we do is share it with all of our followers, our 70,000 plus followers across, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. But we do have inside, and we get the inside scoop. And there's many times that I'll get a scoop from one of our guys, Joshua Cole Allen, who's taking a little time off for personal reasons. Our thoughts and prayers are with Josh and his family, but we'll get information before even the NFL Network will break it. We get it before, Adam Schefter's breaking it. So, and that's not the reason why we do this. It's part of what we do. And the moment we get it, we are instantaneously turning it around and breaking it to everyone on our platform, because that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about the Bucks and cover the Bucks. And we want the feedback from all of our listeners, followers, just like we're talking tonight with phone calls and messages, the same way we want to bring it to them. And that's probably the best thing about being on this whole thing.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. It's also, being now, sort of in the Bucks media, I get to kind of rub elbows with a lot of the guys that I know, colleagues on other sites and other outlets, because I've always been kind of on the scene, but not officially on the scene when it comes to Bucks football. And, I know a lot of the guys from all the other, from Joe Bucks and from Pewter Report, and I mean, pretty much all of them. I know somebody within the walls of all of these different outlets. So it's really cool. Like I said, you can't get enough Bucks content. So it's like people aren't going to go, oh, great, another Bucks show. People are going to go, yeah. People are going to go, great, another Bucks show. I hope it's good. So, I mean, my podcast queue is nothing but Bucks shows. I mean, it's what I love, the content I love to consume, or websites, like I'm constantly reading and reading and reading. When I was a kid, all you had was the Tampa Tribune, Now you have website after website, with just Bucks news. I mean, I pulled up articles for today's show that we can tap into, from like Pro Football Focus, rank the top quarterbacks. And where would you think Tom Brady is on that ranking?
Well, one of my favorite things is talking about the olden days with the Tampa Tribune, and where Hubert Meisel and Tom McEwen and in the shoulders of the giants that we stand on here today, because we're basically that's the hustle we're doing here. But one of my favorite things to do is I'll actually go back and search through archives, and I'll go back and look at a Hubert Meisel story from the 80s, or I'll go back and I love this, because it's at the end of the day, history brings us from where we were, but it usually ends up bringing us to where we are now, because I don't want to say it's all cyclical or it's all, but basically we are our history. And if you can't have respect and love for your history, then you're going to find it hard to be able to get the true feeling or the true emotion of what it means to win Super Bowl 55, or to have Tom Brady at quarterback, or to be favored as heavily. Because I mean, even back in 2003, after the Bucks win 37, they still got the defense, right? But you still had Brad Johnson and Michael Pittman and Joe Jurevicius. But even then, they were like, maybe the Bucks will come back. They still have that great defense, but Tony Dungy had been removed. It was John Gruden then, and of course, he basically a year after that just started dismantling this team. But you got to be able to understand the history to understand just how good Bucks fans have it right now, and enjoy it. Let's just all enjoy it. We're getting to that better place. You're doing your lives. We're going to be able to come out and have these big parties. And I'm glad you mentioned Joe Bucks fan and Pewter Report and stuff, because at least once a year we'd like to get together and have the battle, like in Anchorman, where all the different reporters are. We like to get together. Maybe we'll get together and have a little battle, or maybe we can have some kind of, maybe we'll go over to the fields over there at Berkeley Prep, hilarious. Like the Brady Bunch. Yeah, we'll be having a good time.
I killed a man with a trident. I saw that. You're going to want to lay low for a little while. Probably wanted for murder.
The Jets and the Sharks.
It might be one of the best scenes of any movie ever, to be honest. I was judging a barbecue competition last weekend in Ybor City between breweries. It was at Berry House. Those are friends of mine over there. Great local brewery. Yes. And the wife of the assistant head chef over at Coppertail. Awesome guy. Awesome. Everybody out there was awesome. His wife has a Ron Burgundy tattoo on her arm.
Oh, no way.
And I could not. It was probably the greatest thing I saw all day. And I saw a bunch of great barbecue and met so many great people. But I had to tell her, I go, that is the most baller thing I've
That's awesome.
I mean, it's just too cool. Like if a guy would have had it, I would have been impressed. But she's a beautiful lady with Ron Burgundy on her upper arm, and I couldn't stop looking at it. It was amazing.
That's a keeper. And by the way, also if you ever need backup for one of those judging contests there in Ybor with the breweries, of course you got my number, brother. Because I could be there now. Do you know who Teresa is? You've seen Teresa popping in and out of her show.
Just
she's
pop
one
her
of our
up.
best and brightest. Yeah.
Yeah, I know she's been around the Bucks fan scene for a long time, so I definitely recognize her. So a lot of these folks, because I've before being on this website, I've been a fan, so I've just been kind of intermingling with a lot of these folks. So it's like, I recognize everybody, obviously. So it's really, really cool. And then of course we got other hosts popping in saying hi. Apparently they're freezing in Canada right now, which is look at that. All the snow just melted. You don't know what to do.
Said, help, please. Andrew, I don't know if the snow melted or if it's just all of his green came in at once. And there's an inside joke on that one. So
yeah, when the snow melts in Florida, that means that it's a different kind of snow. If you know,
I was gonna say that's when Tubbs and Crockett are down there. Miami, nice.
Now look at this, Johnny Dean with a good one here. Where are we with the USFL now? It said that the Bandits come back to Tampa. Are you excited for the spring league? Now, you got to be a little older to know what the hell he's talking about here. And I am just old enough to know what he's talking about here. So the USFL was a spring league between 84 and 87. They moved to the fall to compete with the NFL, and it ended up being their downfall. So they didn't make it past that. But we had the Tampa Bay Bandits here locally, and I went to, I think, every game. They had a package. If you guys are old like me, I'm almost 50. They had a package, 4 end zone seats, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes for $19.99 for a long time. So we went to every damn game, and we were huge fans. And was it 83 to 85? Okay. Yeah, you might be right there. I thought they went to 87. What do I know, man? Any Hoosers. It was a lot of fun.
Bandit Ball.
Yeah.
Horse and Burt Reynolds and Jerry Lee, or Jerry Lee did the music for that, or did the song Bandit Ball. I mean, it was first and 10, do it again. Bandit Ball.
Bandit Ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's really just
good.
And bury the lead on the other side. The Bucks were struggling at that time. I mean, they they were going through some hard times. Of course, that was just a few years removed from when Culverhouse sticks his head straight up his backside, doesn't sign Doug Williams. So we have old ball coach Steve Spurrier in here, John Reeves, Eric Trevelyan, Gary Anderson. I mean, there was a stack, and they were the best team in the USFL. So as much as we were like on the one end, Buccaneers fans, you're like, what the WTF? On the other side, we got the Bandits, and we're like, well, life is okay.
Yeah, it's funny about the USFL. I lived in Vegas a couple of times, and one of the times I lived there was a sports memorabilia store going out of they're going out of business, and they had a big sale. And I walked in, and I'm a big guy, so right when I walk in, the owner, he was Middle Eastern descent or something. He runs right over to me, and he goes, "I'm glad you're here, my friend, because I have a bunch of big jerseys for you." And I go, "All right, back off, buddy. What are we talking about here?" And I'm a jersey guy. I love jerseys. I have a ton of them. And he takes me to this rack, and it's all USFL jerseys.
Wow.
All 3XL. Like they fit me perfect. And they had everything but a Bandits jersey, which I was upset about. But they were $40 a piece, and they were stitched really good. And I still have some of them.
Nice.
But I have in my closet a Doug Williams Oklahoma Outlaws jersey.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I have a Reggie.
He wore number 12 too, I think, when he was with the Outlaws too.
Dang. Oh, it's in my closet in the other room.
That's solid.
I have a Reggie White Memphis Showboats. I have
nice.
I'm trying to think. I have a few of them though, but Doug Flutie, New Jersey Generals. I mean,
you don't have a Steve Young, do you? That Steve Young would have been nice. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if they'd make Steve Young at a XXX.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have
no,
a
I'm just
rule.
saying. I mean, Steve Young is a small guy, but
I have a rule with my jerseys, right? Like I rarely buy a jersey worn by a small person, right?
yeah, right.
I remember my first wife bought me a Warwick Dunn jersey in like 1999. And I said, I'm a huge man
Yeah,
with that little 28 on me. Like Warwick Dunn weighed like 160 pounds, right? And
yeah.
20 of it was his calves. I look like a moron wearing a Warwick Dunn jersey. Can you just give me a Warren Sapp jersey, man, or a Paul Gruber
Ooh,
jersey?
yeah.
Something. Give me a big guy. I have an Ian Beckles jersey in my closet. You know what I mean?
Now,
give me a big guy.
The 28, though, and you make that, but 28 Fournette, you could pull that off and it's not that Fournette's that bigger of a guy, but he's got that impression as a bulldozing type of a running back.
Well, he's a 28 Fournette's a throwback now because he's not 28 anymore. So.
Is he number 7? Is he going with 7 now?
I think he has gone back to 7. I think he's one of the few players that are doing that. So
see, I posed that right when he came out because of course he wore that number at LSU. But of course, the minute they make the rule changes to they're going to let these players wear different numbers. Of course, Tom Brady, the first thing he says is that's stupid. And I get it because now he's got to do a little extra film study. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a number. If you got a homage back to your college, you wore number 7 at LSU. Let Leonard Fournette wear number 7. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't mind like the skilled players switching their numbers. I mean, I kind of agree with Brady. He came out and he wasn't very happy about the rule change because it's hard to scheme. When you don't know who the linebacker is or who the linemen are because they can wear whatever number they want. So I kind of get that, but at the same time, it's the same disadvantage for all the quarterbacks. It's not like it's just his disadvantage. It sucks. It's another obstacle you're going to have to just work around. So, but yeah, I mean, I kind of get it, but I don't think it's going to be the problem people think it is because, it's not that easy to do it. You have to go in and I think you have to buy out all the jerseys. So it costs millions of dollars to have your number changed. I know Stephon Diggs over at the Buffalo Bills, he came out and said, that number 14 is what his fans bought, and he don't want them to have to like throw away their old jersey and buy a new one. So I thought that was kind of a stand-up guy thing to say. But I think at the end of the day, he didn't want to go spend $4 million taking all his old jerseys. So,
well, I think Leonard Fournette, the reason why in his case, maybe the reason why it didn't cost so much is, let's be honest with you, Lombardi, Lenny, by the end of last season, those Fournette jerseys were running off the rack. So if he had to buy out, the remaining whatever was still out there, he probably didn't have to buy as much. And it wasn't because they weren't making them; it's just because they were selling like hotcakes. So maybe the transitional for him wasn't as big as some of the other players.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot of things that play into it. I mean, you'd have to really be attached to it, So, I mean, at the end of the day, your number is your number. You make it what it is. I don't know. Yeah.
Best number 99, Warren Sapp. Best big man number. You got to, if you're, you're a big guy, you got to have a 99. Forget about it.
And for offensive linemen, it's 72. You got that's the bad. And I say that because I wore it in high school.
I was going to ask 72. Yeah,
I wore 72 because this is how old I am. I played nose tackle, and it was when I was playing high school when Refrigerator Perry was playing in the NFL. So even though I was a Bucs fan, I loved the fridge. And I was, big fat guy that clogged up the A gap like he was. And I was like, I want to be number 72. And then my coach was like, I don't see anybody big enough to take it from you. So take it, you big fat asshole. And so that became me.
Best Buccaneer offensive line number for me, and I'll tell you why, it was number 74. It was Paul Gruber. But you know why Paul Gruber? He was the first Buccaneer player, but the first player. Remember how when he put his jersey on, how his shoulder pads on the very ends, how they squared up perfectly. Mm-hmm. I mean, first of all, Paul Gruber was a bring your lunchbox to work every day kind of guy. But, you never had the impression. The guy, you always had the impression he'd rather be drinking Natty Lights in the back of a pickup truck, hunting deer in some Wisconsin forest. But yet the way he wore, I mean, first of all, he was always a square offensive lineman, bookend for the left tackle for the Bucs for a decade. But the way his shoulder pads fit in that jersey and the way they squared up so perfectly, loved that number 74, Paul Gruber.
Well, he was just one of those guys that was rock solid. Like he never missed games. Like he just, you knew he was coming to work. You knew he was shutting down whoever was in front of him. They didn't have to worry about him. That was the one part of the team that was fine. and for, I don't know, a decade. So he played on those crap teams, kind of feel bad for a lot of these guys, that you look back. I feel bad for Vinny Testaverde all the time because I thought he was way better than people give him credit for. And he was just at the time, playing for horrible owners and just a team that was never really going anywhere, but he was one of those guys that just played his ass off every day.
But he was knocking boots with Mitzi on his side, so I'm not feeling too sorry for that cat.
Was he really?
Oh, Mitzi, she was a cheerleader. Don't you remember that? She was a cheerleader with the team. That's where he met his wife. Yeah, and I said knocking boots. I was trying to be funny, but no, yeah, he was one of the reasons why they put the rule in. It said players are not allowed to date cheerleaders. But at the end of the day, we know, hey, if a guy and a girl or a girl and a guy, if you guys like each other, your team can have a rule about that per se. But really, what are you going to do? So. But Vinny Testaverde, he came in here and had some expectations were put on him, number 1 overall pick from Miami, and he was going to come in here and save the franchise. But, in the long run, the guy ends up having like a 19-year career. He ends up having his best, ends up taking the Jets to the AFC Championship game. And of course, then his son, Vinny Testaverde Jr., was on the Bucs practice squad, 2 years ago. That was great to see. Didn't get to hang on, but.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was kind of like almost like a gimmick signing. Poor kid. It was like, hey, it'd be fun. Put a little Testaverde on and then cut him after a week, But I mean, it was interesting. It was interesting, But
yeah,
I mean, when I played football, I also had a rule that I never dated cheerleaders because I couldn't because I was ugly and they wouldn't do it. So. They dated the skilled position.
Well, I also had a rule. I didn't date cheerleaders, but I went to an all-male school, so it was just would have been weird. No, I'm kidding. There were a lot of tight ends and very few wide receivers. But I'm
my
kidding.
Goodness gracious! Hey, I got to call a flag on that.
Flag on the play. Yeah. That's a flag on the play.
Sorry, I have a soundboard. I just wanted to use it every now and then.
I love it. Was that last comment out of bounds, Johnny?
It was.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Everything I do is out of bounds. If you'd like to join us, 727-592-8518. Man, I'm glad that you're my first guest, man, / co-host on this.
Brother,
last week I'll be honest, last week was like my first official show, but I was not good. Like I was still sort of drunk, but the hangover, when your drunk starts turning into an instant hangover.
Oh yeah.
Because I was out at a barbecue all day and in the sun and dehydrated. And then I came home and I passed out at the end of the Lightning game. I woke up with like a half hour to do this show. And I'm like, you piece of crap. Way to be prepared. Way to go, jerk. And then luckily I had some people jump in and bail me out, man. Like you were one of them. Thank God.
Hey, you saved me from the Waffle House. Like you said, it wasn't the first time you had done that, but I appreciated you, brother.
Yeah, but it ended up being fine. So I feel a lot better today, and it's nice to have some people in the stream. I saw earlier somebody from our team said, "Pound the share button and watch us grow." Do that, man. Pound it, man. Pound it. Do it. Do what you got to do. Yeah, I gotta. Start. I want to do more. I want to do more than I'm doing with the site. So I just want to make sure that I can get things going and then people actually don't hate my guts. That's my number one thing. So,
hey, my number one thing is I'm pounding the streets. We spent a year doing the right thing, and we spent 4 months locked in. I'm working from home, but we're in that better place. And I've been down here in the Berg I didn't come down here Friday night now because it was First Friday, and I think Johnny, you've been down here before. First Friday, it's as much as I like to sit out in front of Detroit Liquors and try to get picked up, First Friday is not for me. But I'm enjoying it down here, and that's what I'm trying to do in 2021 is bring it to the streets because everybody spent a year doing the right thing and socially distancing, but then they're getting the vaccinations now and they're feeling better, and everybody wants to get heard. And that's what this platform is all about. Get heard, have fun, interact with us because that's what we're trying to do here.
Amen. You couldn't have said any better, man. Awesome. You should be in radio.
I should be, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Teresa said you told us you were hungover. I know I did tell you because it's all about being transparent. I don't want to lie to you folks, and sometimes it won't be good. Sometimes my realism will be like depressing. Be like, wow, I wish he would lie to us tonight because we didn't need to know he had diarrhea. That's horrible.
No, that happens. In fact, No, I got nothing.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No,
All right, back to present day football. I know we took a long trip down memory lane there, which is fun. Which is fun to do. I love to do it. So I was talking about this earlier. Pro Football Focus. I don't know how much credence you take or put into what. Sometimes I like what they put, but sometimes I'm baffled by their rankings and how they use a lot of computer analytics to kind of. They throw it all in there and they come up with these numbers. But where they have Tom Brady ranked going into 2021, I'm okay with for a guy that'll be 44 years old in August. They have him number 2 behind Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And they have Aaron Rodgers, who maybe is going to play for Green Bay. They got him at number 3. So I think that's fair. And I don't think a lot of people would have done that. I think most people are still ranking him way down, not even in the top 10 because of his age. But I think he deserves it. I mean, the guy, he had a fantastic year. He had one of his best statistical years. So, and he's a Super Bowl champion. So suck it. He's number 2.
Well, and they wanted to. The thing is, they couldn't figure out where to put Deshaun Watson, but they're going to wait till they massage the numbers a little bit and try to get back to you on that one. But the thing about it is, with Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay Packers, they draft Jordan Love, and I get it. Just like when they drafted Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre was their quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers gets a little bit of red backside, and he made a great point. They make it to the NFC Championship game. Matt LaFleur does a great job coaching that team, and it's almost like a team of no names. But I can kind of get where Aaron Rodgers is coming from. But at the end of the day, he signed a contract, and I'm interested to see what's going to go on. I mean, is the kerfuffle still that he's going to be on another team this year? I don't know.
I think he probably, unless they do some real patching up there, like. It still looks like there might be some sort of a trade. They still have plenty of time, to do that. I don't know. I don't want to feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers because he really does give me that kind of douchebag kind of vibe. But yeah, I mean, when you look at what the Bucs do for Tom Brady, they go out and get him all the weapons and more. And the Green Bay kind of is like the opposite for Aaron Rodgers. They're kind of like, man, just throw the Scantling, we'll make
a wide receiver of the running back and just figure it out from there.
Yeah, I mean, and look, Teresa makes a good point here. Rodgers should have known the team would do that. They did it to Favre,
exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you got to keep the goats happy, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like he deserves to be treated a little better. There, I said it.
Yeah.
As far as Deshaun Watson, he's in a team that's completely messed up and they're not coming back anytime soon. That's a weird situation.
Oh, the GM and everything. The guy, what is he, like a positive? He's like one of them positive mental attitude speaker guys that tries to talk things into reality and everything. And it's McNair, the owner. It's.
I don't mind positive affirmations, but I can look in the mirror and say, you're going to get skinny all I want, but my refrigerator's telling me something different. Yeah. So, no, the whole situation with his, the sexual assault allegations and all that, the timing of it, very squirrely, and for people that don't know the backstory on that, he demands a trade. And then, barely weeks later, these allegations start popping up, and yeah, you find out the lawyer for most of these girls is kind of next door neighbors with the owner of the team.
And he announces it on Instagram. I mean, that's the platform the lawyer goes to announce that there's going to possibly be some lawsuits on Instagram.
It's all about the likes, man. You got to get those likes, baby.
Right.
Speaking of likes, let's bring in who I like to call the backbone of BucsReport.com, the hardest working man in show business, and just fresh off his birthday, so he's probably hungover. Let's bring in Rick Hughes. What's up, baby?
Hey, what's up, Ricky?
Oh, your mic is your mic on? Oh God, yes. Oh, there you go. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Hey, man. How are you?
Oh, dandy, man. I love the artwork behind you. It's very nice. Is that yours?
No.
Nice.
Yes, it's my artwork. I own it.
Yeah, I bought it. You fatso. Yeah. So everything behind me, I drew myself. So I painted myself. Everything.
Yeah. You like that? Because you can get it at Rooms to Go.
Oh, nice. It comes
Always trying to close a sale. This guy always be closing, Rick.
Yeah, you get 2 paintings with the love seat. So buy them now. Very, very nice. I have rooms to go furniture somewhere in my house, I'm sure. Yeah, I remember I bought some. It's not bad. It's good.
Yeah. Hey, welcome. It's good to see you on Bucks Report. I'm loving this.
Thanks, man. I'm having a good time. I love it. Me and Ray have like instant, chemistry here. We're flowing. We got the comments are great. We got Teresa in here. She's got to drive. Good. Look, just put the phone on your mount, Teresa. I mean, don't worry about safety. Worry about your entertainment.
Best of the Bay is hard at work. It's right in the middle. I mean, I'm telling you, you got to go on. This is a good group.
Oh, look at that. I'm learning how to move the screens around.
That looks good, JD.
Thanks, man. Yeah, look, you get to see more of my background here. My big giant Warren Sapp action figure, and my old Bucks flag, and my Yankee candle burning, and my old Bucks helmets. Very nice.
Hands only.
Yeah, you don't want to see too much. You don't want to see what's below this hoodie. You know what I mean? Nothing. There's nothing. It's unbelievable.
Is that your little buck? Rick, did you hear him say that he's got a Doug Williams Arizona or Outlaws jersey from the USFL?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, number 12, man. It's a good one. It's a good jersey. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, I got I also have a Herschel Walker
Jersey Generals, right?
New Jersey Generals. Yeah, it's very nice. It's my number 34. It's a very nice one. So yeah, I wish I can get a hold of some more of those. I would love to have like a Gary Anderson or something. A nice Tampa Bay Bandits one would be nice.
Yeah.
Look at this. We got another. Hey, what's up, Constance? How are you? Look at that.
Gentleman. She doesn't know who she's talking to.
Yeah.
I'm not a gentleman at all. I mean, I can be. I can act like a gentleman. If I go to a nice restaurant, I could put on a fake gentleman thing long enough to eat their food. Then I'll get in the parking lot and turn into a scumbag. Yeah, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm eating these Parmesan garlic chicken wings from here at Berg's Bar and Grill. Oh,
yummy.
I'm sorry for doing it while I'm on the air, Johnny, but we were talking.
I don't care.
Okay, good. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no. If I had some, I'd be balls deep. Yeah, right now. Yeah, perfect. By the way, I'm going to do shout outs on this stream on Twitter. So I do this on my FM show, and I want to do it on this show too. So it's basically a way for me to whore out my social media and have you follow me if you're not doing so already. Johnny B Comedy on Twitter. So go ahead and slap a follow on that. And today I will follow you back. And I don't follow anybody. I hate people. So I will follow you back if you follow me today. And I will shout you out on the show also. So I do appreciate it. And of course, make sure you're following Bucks Report if you're not doing so already. What are you doing with your life? Just do it. There's some new people on right now because I am streaming through my Johnny B Fans Facebook page. So make sure if you're watching from that, then hop on and follow all the social media with bucksreport.com and everything.
And hit that share button, because that's how we do this. We continue to grow this platform. And man, we've got so many things planned the next few months. Rick, you can back me up on this in our production meetings. Johnny, you'll know that we are going to it's as exciting as the 2021 season is going to be for your Buccaneers. We've got plans in place that it's just going to be a party nonstop. So hit the share button, like us and follow us, and we'll all have a great time.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What meetings? What? I'm not invited.
Now you're going to be a local soon, Rick. When will you be here?
I don't know. I can tell you I will be there on Wednesday and Thursday night this week. But for that, I don't know. I want them to bring me down, and once I'm working down there, I'm good to go.
All right. Sounds good, man. Well, get ready to have the humidity hit you right in the sack.
Oh yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. The watch parties were not bad. Last year. I mean, I like to hang out with the Bucks Invasion crew. They invited me in. I watched the Super Bowl with those guys. It was a lot of fun. But I mean, I've popped around to a lot of them.
Yeah,
so
John's a friend of mine from his Atlanta days.
John Blakey, right?
Yeah, he's part of the ATL Bucks group with me. Ran it actually for a while. The up there. So, yeah, A lot of good people.
Yeah,
Hey,
when he,
fellas, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I gotta go right now. My son's here, but I'm gonna check back in, brother. Thanks for having me, Johnny B.
Thanks,
And
pal.
Rick, I will talk to you real soon, my friend.
Appreciate it. All right, man. Later, pal. Boom. Get out of here, kid. It's me and you now, Ricky. Switch screens, fatso. Boom. There we are. All right. Nice. I felt like he was in between us. You know, he was coming in between us a little bit.
You know, I felt, I don't know, a menage. I don't know. Anyway, it's just
You're afraid to say something dirty. You're afraid.
disturbing.
It's my show. We can filth it up if you want to. Johnny, is that an NFL Extreme Warren Sapp on the shelf? Yes, Masidor, it is. I bought it on like Facebook Marketplace. I just happened to find it and I got it for like $15 in a Winn-Dixie parking lot. And the guy was super nice that sold it to me. What?
Probably directly from Warren Sapp's trunk.
I hope so. I don't care, but it's awesome. I hadn't seen one in 20 years, so it was really great. Look who's here, everybody. It's the dude. What's up, dude?
Hey, I heard you guys talking about Warren Sapp, so I wanted to interject my expertise in negotiating with prostitutes to the conversation.
Okay.
If necessary.
Yeah. Never beat them up after services have been rendered.
Just before?
Well, and don't by any stretch of the imagination try to pay them with monopoly money because it doesn't work.
Oh man, I have a kind of a fun Warren Sapp story. And you know, I kind of deserved it a little bit. So I went to the Hall of Fame club with three of my buddies who happened to play for the Buccaneers, you know, for a game. It was actually the last game of the season, 2017, when we beat the Panthers to have the winning record. You know, and it made us 9-7. So I was invited by, we lost Rick. He's dead. I was invited by Ian Beckles, my pal, to go to the Hall of Fame club. Brian Ford gave him some tickets and we went. It was myself, Ian, Ty J. Armstrong, and Tony Mayberry. Just some great, you know, just a bunch of offensive linemen hanging out. Not a big deal. And Warren Sapp was there, you know, that they always have a Hall of Famer, you know, there to hang out. And I thought since Warren Sapp was going to be there, I'd wear a Raiders jersey because he played for the Raiders the last time, you know, he played football. And are you still there, dude? Oh my God, did I lose everybody?
Absolutely, brother.
Oh,
absolutely. I'll just say this. Did he really actually play for the Raiders or was he just collecting the check? But anyway.
I mean, yeah, you know, so, you know, to be honest, I couldn't find you know, it was such a spur of the moment. I didn't have like a Bucks jersey that was either clean or fit. And I knew I had an old Kenny Stabler Raiders jersey, you know, because I collect throwbacks. So I just said, I'll throw on a Raiders jersey, you know, and go to the game, you know, because Warren Sapp will be there. And I'm sitting there talking with the fellas, and then Warren Sapp walks up. And of course, he knows all of them. He played with them, and he looks at me and he's like, "Is this dude lost?" And I felt so just completely defeated, and I was like, "That's not how I wanted this meeting to go at all." You know, like I was like, he looked at me like I was an absolute moron, and I was like, "I'll just go back over to the Bananas Foster's, you know, table." And eat my.
You should have responded with. You should have responded with. If I was in a mini skirt and stilettos, you would know who I was.
Yeah, I don't want to get beat up, man. I don't want to get beat up if he can't afford, you know, the lawsuit. Like if I knew he was still loaded, then I would have said that. You know, I'll take a concussion or two, or maybe a permanent limp in order to be rich. I'm not above that at all. So maybe that's what I should do. You know, I'm trying to figure out a way to become rich one day. You know. And I think I don't think radio or comedy is going to get me rich. You know, it keeps the bills paid, but I think I need to get beat up by a celebrity,
or just slip on a grape at Publix.
I've tried, man. You know, plus they don't like it when you throw a jar of pickles on the ground and run through it. You know what I mean? They see it. There's cameras everywhere. Now you just got pickly feet and a busted ass and no lawsuit at all. Back in the old days, you could do that, man. In the 80s, you know, you could pretty much run yourself into a wall at Eckerd's and get 30 grand, but not now. No, cameras everywhere. If you guys want to join us, phone lines are open 727-592-8518. And of course, you can jump on the stream. I put the here. I'll put the link back into the chat. Boom, pal. There you go. I'm learning buttons and stuff. Aren't I cool?
We love the fact that you put your link into the chat multiple times tonight, sir. That shows stamina.
I am a man that has stamina. Absolutely. It's so funny though, you know, talking with Ray and talking with you and Rick. I had so much prepped, and I do this with my radio show at night. Is I'll have a ton of prep and maybe do 5% of it. It just seems it's because I mean I have all this stuff I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about, you know, Pro Football Focus ranking the Bucs receivers. I wanted to talk about, you know, other jive that I've pulled off different websites of things, and Tom Brady news out the yin yang. This guy, his rookie card just sold for over $3 million. Did you hear about this crap?
Yeah. He continues to just keep stacking side project and side hustle on top of side hustle. Our own, in fact, you mentioned him earlier on the show. Ray Kennedy put out an article about last week about this.
Right.
It was at about 1.98 million at that point, and they projected it to be the highest card sold. And here it was again. Anytime you attach Tom Brady's name to something, you can take the check to the bank. Basically, it seems like.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, I mean, if you go to, like, right now, I'm on I just popped up one of the websites I go to. I'm on PFT, and you're looking at Bucks News, and it's just Tom Brady, and it's unbelievable. You know, it's rookie cards. Tom Brady this. Tom Brady's running practices. You know, then you get some other news. You know that's down the line. That it's really really crazy. Just to see, you know, the guy is always in the news and it's never negative, you know, which I love. You know, so, and it seems like, and I was talking about this with Ray earlier. That's one of the beauties of the Bucks. The whole roster is you're not really, aside from Antonio Brown, who has a history of bad stuff. I mean, even now, it's kind of hard to find anything bad on him. He's still dealing with lawsuits from things he did, you know, a couple of years ago. But I mean, aside from him, everybody's squeaky clean, and it's just good news everywhere.
Well, and the thing is, the Tom Brady effect extends past the organization. I mean, let's be honest here. Since Tom Brady has joined the NFC South, two of the biggest stars, Drew Brees and Julio Jones, have decided this might not be the place for me to continue playing football.
Right.
And let's be honest here. I was having a discussion with Rick earlier. Everybody, in my opinion, all the other three teams in the division got weaker this year.
And 100%. Yeah.
And the Buccaneers they reloaded and they're like, oh, we've got everybody back. Let's add a Giovanni Bernard because why not? And I honestly, as a Bucs fan like you, since '76, since way back in the day, long time, it's a weird feeling to be sitting here in June going, well, we don't really have anything to worry about except, you know, injury. That's a weird position.
I mean, and even injury, like, you know, aside from, you know, the one that I won't even say out loud, you know, the one, you know, besides if that happened, everywhere else, the depth it's there. Like, so when you look at it, you go, where's a weakness? You go, I don't know, third string at some positions is a weakness, you know, because every position, I mean, pick a position and you can look at the depth chart and you go, yeah, I think they're pretty good there. I mean, at every position. I mean, from, you know, the offensive line, you know, you got depth there now, you know, especially with the draft, you know, like, you know, you draft the kid from Notre Dame. So you got even more. And then they bring back, you know, Stinney, who looked like a champion. This guy he wasn't, you know, he's a practice squad guy, you know? So, I mean, across the board, they're saying now one of these guys may challenge Kappa. Like, what? So you have that offensive line depth, you know, you have, the deepest receiver room in the history of the NFL. Tight end, you show me a better tight end room than the Bucs have. I mean, it doesn't exist. You know, it's across the board. Even at linebacker, inside linebacker, we're a little worried about that. Then they draft KJ Britt. They still got Mentor. You know, it's not fair. The whole thing is not fair. I mean,
it's crazy, Johnny. I mean, we've heard the Chiefs fans all off season complain, well, we were short a couple offensive linemen, blah, blah, blah. Here's a news flash. The Buccaneers were missing their starting right guard in Alex Kappa. Tom Brady was playing on a knee that was more damaged than anybody knew about. But yet, somehow we were able to throw up the deuces to what I like to refer to as Patrick Mahomes, a.k.a. Global Jim throwing guy. And that's the thing I think we're going to see this year. The NFL has caught up to the Patrick Mahomes thing. Okay? You're going to have to run around a little bit more, but what the Buccaneers defense did to you was basically lay the blueprint out. Pressure him from the edge, make him step up in the pocket. And if you go back and watch the Super Bowl, he wasn't that good from the pocket. He didn't do any big things until he got outside of the pocket. So to me, the Buccaneers, circling back to them, they are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, win the division, and everything in front of them. The Chiefs, I think they're taking a step back this year, and the Titans. So just so we're clear, Julio Jones wanted to go to a team that threw the deep ball and ended up going through to a team that averaged 12 to 15 throws a game.
Yeah, I mean, you got probably the best running back in the league, if not top three, and that's definitely their bell cow. They go to him 25 times a game, as they should. I think Julio just wanted to go to a team that's going to win, and he knows Atlanta they're not winning. They're winning 6 or 7 games this year. He knows that, with or without him. So he just wanted to go somewhere where they have a shot. And Tennessee's one of those teams, that they're always kind of hanging around in the playoffs, and they got a chance, to do something if they make a run towards the end. So I don't know. Maybe he just loves country music and good barbecue. I don't know, but he wanted to get the hell out of Atlanta. That's for sure. And he didn't want to go to Dallas. That's all I know. So here he is, Tennessee.
Well, let's ask the people in the comments section, is going from Matt Ryan to Ryan Tannehill a step up?
I mean, Tannehill does look a lot better than he did, in Miami, but at this point, I don't think he cares. I think he just, like I said, I think he just wanted to get out of that burning building that is the Atlanta Falcons. They don't look like they're really rebuilding anytime soon. I thought they probably should have went with a quarterback. I know they got a great tight end in that pick with Kyle Pitts, but Matt Ryan's a little long in the tooth. I mean, if you're building for the future, are you building around a tight end? Or are you trying to really set your team up, with the franchise quarterback and things like that? I don't know. I don't get paid for these decisions. They have people to make a lot of money for that. But on the outside looking in, I think he just wanted to get out of there. And I think that's going to happen sooner than later with the New Orleans Saints too, when Jameis Winston starts finally throwing touchdowns to the Bucs this year. I think you're going to see. He threw them for the Bucs when he was here, but he also threw more for the other team. But it's going to be that's going to be a mess, I think, in New Orleans. Carolina, I think, might be they might be the second best team at the come middle of the year. I like their coach, and I kind of like the way they do things. But they're not close. They're not close to doing, they're all way behind the Bucs.
Exactly. And just to circle back and pile on the Falcons, because why not?
Yeah.
Turns out having a $2 billion stadium doesn't make a damn bit of difference. And if you want more proof of that, let's go talk to the Raiders. And have the Jets and Giants done anything since they got their brand new stadium a while back? Not really.
Horrible ownership. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Rich McKay, you failed on this one, buddy. Like Johnny pointed out, it appears as though you're going to build a team around a tight end. Okay. You realize he's a very high prospect. Don't get me wrong, Kyle Pitts. I do think he might end up being more of a Megatron style wide receiver than he is a tight end in this league. I don't recall him doing a lot of blocking at Florida, but then again, I didn't watch those guys. But Rich McKay, maybe Julio wanted out because Matt Ryan isn't who you guys think he is or was. Or maybe you've just lost your luster, but you have arguably one of the nicest stadiums in the league and a franchise that doesn't appear to have a direction at this point other than we're hanging our hat on Matt Ice again. And that's not a good concept, in my opinion.
when the Falcons blew that Super Bowl, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen a team do in any sport ever, right? When mathematically you just run the ball for 2 quarters and you win the game. I have no idea what the hell was going on there. But when they lost that Super Bowl to the Patriots after being up 28-3, they had to bounce back that next year. They had to go back and do a deep run in the playoffs, and if not, go back to the Super Bowl. If not, they were going to spiral out of control, and that's exactly what happened. Like they had the Super Bowl won, and they've done nothing but get bad since then. So, I mean, it's, turn out the lights, the party's over, Don Meredith style. Nobody's looking at them to get better anytime soon. Their coaching staff doesn't impress me. I just, they're not even in, they're kind of an afterthought now. Like I said, I'm more concerned about what they're doing in Carolina, with that team, than I'm worried about them. Harry Berg made a good point too, and I've been echoing this for weeks now. He says everyone loves to watch the offense. Brady and the boys, obviously. He's wanting to see, what the D can do, and what they did in the Super Bowl was something special. And I said this talking to Rick on my show Friday night. I think the defense really dominated that Super Bowl. And the playoffs in general. They chased Aaron Rodgers around the field too in that NFC Championship game, beat the hell out of him. I think they, and Ray and I talked about this earlier. There's a chance that we could have the number one defense and the number one offense this year. Like what they do on defense, they take a lot of pride in. Devin White is my favorite Tampa Bay Buccaneer. There, I said it out loud. I think it's the first time I've said it out loud. Yeah, I know Tom Brady. He should be, right? No, my favorite Buccaneer is Devin White. Nobody has more fire in the NFL to me than Devin White. That guy is so fun to watch, so fast, and plays outside of his mind. I haven't seen a linebacker like Devin White since Derek Brooks, and a very close second is a guy that plays next to him in Levante David, and I love watching him play too. But I think that defense has a lot of pride. They call themselves the Grave Diggers. They got this swagger about them. And yeah, I'm with you, Harry. I love to watch our defense play football. Love it.
Well, the old adage is offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. And if you watch that game, I don't have the exact stat in front of me because, well, there's been many a session between now and then for the dude. But didn't Tom Brady throw a couple of interceptions in the Super Bowl? Or at least in the NFC Championship game?
NFC Championship game, he threw a couple. But, the thing about Tom Brady and his interceptions, especially in that game, they're not the interceptions like Jameis used to throw that hurt your team and, back you up in your own, when you're in, you're deep in your own territory. Like Jameis loved to throw a pick, when we're, at the 20. Where Tom Brady throws a pick, it's normally kind of like a punt. I mean, once in a while he'll throw a pick six because, he's, kind of taking some chances. But the both of the interceptions in the NFC Championship game, I don't think they scored points off of those interceptions because they were pretty deep in Green Bay territory. But yeah, the defense came in, fired up, and got the ball back for us. And I think that's where you were kind of alluding to on that. It's like the defense doesn't. This version of our defense, this Todd Bowles defense, they don't get shook when there's a turnover and collapse and crumble, or say, you know what, we're tired because our quarterback threw an interception. Like they were sick of Jameis, and they went on the field, and you could see them disgusted when they had to go right back out on the field after they just got burned for a touchdown. So yeah, I mean, it's different now. It's way different when an interception's thrown now. They go out and try to get the ball back, and they usually do.
Well, and to further pile on Jameis, because why not? When Tom Brady throws an interception, he doesn't go into post-game press conference and say, "Check my sheet, I'm balling." No, sir. He probably goes home and kicks his dog and throws 1,000 balls through a tire or something. But
right.
With the Jameis Winston experience with the Buccaneers, Jason Light was in a tough situation. Marcus Mariota, the guy who likes to run, or Jameis Winston, the perceived pocket passer.
Mm-hmm.
you had to take a quarterback almost at that point or trade the pick. And let's be honest, in hindsight, we understand there wasn't a lot of teams wanting to trade up for either one of those two. And both of them, they're still in the league, but they haven't seen the field very often. So, arguably one of the worst quarterback draft classes in recent memory, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it was really bad timing. It was a year where we had to take a quarterback. There was no question about it. We needed a quarterback, and that's what we had. That's what college football offered up to us. So, I mean, look, I was excited with the Jameis pick because of what I saw him do, in college. I saw him throw picks, but make up for it, and then just take games over. But, even at Florida State, even at that level, it's not the NFL, and it's hard to come back from too many mistakes. And, and I hate to pile on him too, because I really do like the guy. Like Jameis Winston's always been a really good guy, especially in the community, but that kind of fell off for me when, he danced in our locker room, when they whooped us last season, and 8 W's and the presser, behind Drew Brees. When he did that, it was like, you son of a bitch. All right, I'm done.
Yeah,
done being nice.
Exactly. And to tie it in, like you mentioned, it doesn't seem like the Falcons have ever gotten over the 28-3 collapse. I don't think Jameis Winston got over that beatdown that Oregon gave him his last game in college. And then to prove it, his first pass in the NFL was
pick 6, Tennessee Titans. Yeah.
And I feel at that point, the confidence, although he exuded it out in public, I think there was a lack of confidence on his part of he was who he thought he was. Because let's be honest, Oregon dismantled them in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like Oregon's known for defense. So
yeah, that's true. He's a guy. It's like, he's like a gunslinger, but he doesn't have the, I don't know. I don't want to say the mental capacity, because it sounds like I'm calling him stupid. I'm not. I'm saying under pressure, he seems to make the bad decision when he needs to make the better decision. Like Brett Favre was a gunslinger. He threw some picks. He threw a lot of picks, but it seemed like in the big games, he made the right pass when he had to make the right pass. That's why, he won so many games and the Super Bowls. That's why he's Brett Favre. It's just those little things, like what do you do when it really matters? And, it's Tom Brady, like, well, who do you want? You hear these arguments sometimes, like, the game's on the line, it could be football, it could be basketball, it could be baseball. The game's on the line. Who do you want, the ball, whose hands do you want it in? Nobody's ever going to say Jameis Winston. Not at this point ever. It's not going to happen. Tony Medina has a great comment here. He says, or a question, who do you guys think will be the surprise rising star this year, as in someone no one is talking about? As a kind of a segment I did last week on my Hangover show, who do you think the sleeper will be for the Bucs? And I threw out a couple. I think the sleeper that shouldn't be a sleeper, and it's all depending on his health, is OJ Howard. I think a lot of people are just kind of not thinking about OJ Howard, but if he's healthy, OJ Howard will be the best tight end in the league, in my opinion. So what do you think?
I think if we're going with sleepers, we might as well go for the biggest stretch possible. I will say Giovanni Bernard will be the key pickup that no one's really talking about right now. And that's just because he can pick up the blitz. He can catch out of the backfield. He's a consummate professional, even though he did play for the Bengals. And arguably the best set of thighs since Mike Allstott on the team. If you saw those pictures on, oh my God.
High. I mean, yeah. He's a strapped young man. Yes.
I thought I was looking at Google Maps, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I said that earlier. I said, his thighs look like Tim Tebow's current biceps, which don't even look human. They look like somebody from Marvel drew them on a piece of paper. So yeah. Johnny Dean says, Mike Edwards. Okay. Mike Edwards is a guy that flies around. I remember they were comparing him to the Honey Badger when we drafted him. And look, once again, a position of depth on this team that we never had in the past. We were always screaming and thirsty for the safety position. Now look what we have. Winfield Jr. comes in And with that lineage and with that the drive he has, and of course that legendary peace sign to dumb Tariq Hill. But Winfield Jr., obviously, he is the quarterback of that room, going into his second year. But Whitehead, to me, I love Whitehead as a tackler. He might be, between him and Levante, the best tacklers on the team. Just form tackling. Whitehead has this knack to knock the ball out. I mean, he did it twice against Green Bay in the NFC Championship game. One of them we got, which was a big turnaround play. So yeah, the safety position it's strong. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty excited. And Mike Edwards is one of those guys that he has a good knack for the ball too. It's hard to get on the field when you have so much talent. What do you think?
I agree. And Buccaneer fans fell in love with John Lynch back in the day because of the hard hits going across the middle. The NFL kind of changed the rules around, so you can't, headhunt anymore. But Winfield Jr., Whitehead, they still fill that role because they hit with intent. If you watch Jordan Whitehead tackle, he's never just wrapping you up and rolling to the ground. He's trying to hit a spot behind you when he hits you. Same thing with Winfield Jr. The only thing I worry about with Winfield Jr. is, with great success comes great responsibility, as they tell people, right. Spider-Man or whoever. Or maybe that was Iron Man. I don't remember. Johnny will tell us in the chat.
Pretty sure it was Spider-Man. Yeah, I think it was his uncle that said that right before he died.
And let's be honest, Winfield Jr. had a great season last year. Hopefully he's not, reading the press clippings, as they say.
No. I think, like I said, the advantage he has is the lineage. Like his dad, such an influence still on him, and his dad was a great player and just a good role model when it comes to how to be a pro and how to live your life as a man, and not some dummy, some scumbag. Like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a good kid, and his skills, like I said, he's got God-given skills, but he also is just, he's a student. Like he's constantly, they said, I read last year, he is one of those guys that's in the meeting rooms before everybody else. He's like a film geek, the way Rondé Barber was back in the day, and I don't know about the other guys, but I'm sure that they're pretty good too. Obviously you saw them coming together. One of the things I noticed watching replays of the Super Bowl, the dozen times I've watched it. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was running all over the field. They were chasing him around from the edge, and but he still made some ridiculously good passes under duress, like really good ones that probably would have been caught if not for the sticky coverage. I mean, I think the pressure was there, from the D line and the linebackers, but I noticed safeties and corners all over their receivers. So that means they did their film study. That means they learned tendencies. They knew who Mahomes liked to go to when he's under pressure, and they knew the routes. These defensive backs have done nothing but get better and better. So, what does that mean for 2021? That means a lot of problems for other offenses. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick who the sleeper will be. It's hard to pick who this rising star will be. You could say, it could be, Jalen, the rookie wide receiver. I don't know how he makes the field without some injuries, and let's hope that don't happen. Maybe as a returner, he has some spark plays. It's hard to tell. Like, how are you a sleeper on a team that's all stars? I mean, it's kind of tough. Who are you going to, what receiver on our team that starts can be a sleeper? None of them, I don't know. It's a toughie. Who's a sleeper?
It is. And here's the thing. The team is so stacked, as we've gone on and on about. Yeah. It's like, pick your poison or pick your pleasure. It's like a fat guy walking into Golden Corral stoned out of his mind going, look, all this great food here, fried chicken, fish. Oh, and a chocolate fountain too.
Oh my God.
It just keeps getting better as you go down the line with the Buccaneers. And then you look at, like you said, the depth. The second stringers are starters on most other teams.
Yeah.
Now, how this happened, when you think about that last pass by Jameis Winston, I believe they finished 7-9, and everybody knew that, oh gosh, are they going to blow the team up and get rid of Jameis and start over? And it's weird that everything fell into place. Like, Jameis was gone, but here comes Brady, and then just because Brady comes doesn't mean Gronk will come. Well, here comes Gronk. Well, just because they came doesn't mean Leonard Fournette. Here comes Leonard Fournette. Here comes LaShawn McCoy. And what we've seen is in like an 18-month period, an entire transformation, not just of the win-loss record, but of the entire culture and perception nationally of the team.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough to turn a team that's known, they're known. When you hear Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're a joke for decades. I mean, even though they won in 2003, you're talking over 40 years. The Buccaneers synonymous with losing, like they're losers, and to be able to turn around a culture that fast, in one season in the middle of a pandemic with no practices and Zooming everywhere and no preseason. It's insanity, So, it's because of one guy. It really is, because the domino effect is pretty evident how that can work out when you have that much influence. And, I keep going back to the word accountability, because, Bruce Arians and Tom Brady, I don't know, besides like a Bill Belichick, I don't know if there's two other personalities in the league that motivate men and keep people accountable the way those two guys have always done. People want to win for them. And we talked about this last week too. My best example of the Tom Brady effect is Donovan Smith. All right. He started off the season with some shaky times. He's been infamous for taking plays off. You've seen him do it throughout his career. He can play solid, but he takes plays off, and it costs big plays sometimes. You could see Jameis would throw a pick because a defensive end ran around Donovan Smith again. Something happened midway through the season, and I have this fantasy that Tom Brady had a lunch with Donovan Smith and just said, look, man, just you got to play every play. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Trust me. I need you to be 100. I don't know if that really happened, but something clicked in Donovan Smith, like right around the time where he took that week off for a COVID scare. I think there was somebody he was close to. I don't think he had it. I think he was within close contact, but he was off a game. And I think Wells played for him, or one of those guys played for him. And when he came back and he played like Anthony Munoz. Like, it was unbelievable. I went back and watched these games, the last 7 weeks of the season. Watch the film and just pay attention to Donovan Smith. It's unbelievable what the turnaround this guy made. And it's hard to do that far in somebody's career. What's he in his 6th, 7th year? I mean, it's like teaching an old dog new tricks. It's like he turned a switch and said, I'm not taking plays off anymore because I'm blocking for the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. And once that clicked, I mean, that's when you really saw the offense take off. It's like Tom Brady knew, I can sit in the pocket longer. I can do things a little easier, a little smoother, knowing that my blind side is 100% protected. So, I mean, if anybody is a film geek and you want to go back and watch some of these games, trust me, I like to watch whole games and just watch one player each time. I don't know if you do that, but that's like one of the things I like to do. Like, I'll pick a game and I go, I'm going to watch Ndamukong Suh every play this game and see what shakes out. I mean, but I did that with Donovan Smith, and it's really remarkable how well he played.
Yeah. And I'll say this. I mean, again, the Tom Brady effect factors into Donovan Smith here with, if nothing else, the simple fact that Jameis had this tendency, if you will, to run around in the back of the pocket and keep the play alive, which is every offensive lineman's nightmare. They'll tell you that verbatim. Yeah. Whereas Tom Brady has that clock 5 to 6 seconds and it's out, if not sooner. So that helped Donovan Smith. But yes, it was almost like after that Chicago game when that Bears defense put Tom Brady on his back on the regular, that I almost feel like Tom Brady played the ghost of football passed and went to Donovan Smith's house in the middle of the night and just like performed some kind of TB12 ceremony on him or something.
Right.
But Donovan Smith did the second half of that season. He played at an all-pro / Pro Bowl level. And, we can argue about that if you want. Just go back and watch.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's uniform did not get very dirty during that playoff run.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the film doesn't lie. Like, it just doesn't. Like, and yeah, you're right. Like, you look at, every playoff game, the games leading up to the playoffs, and that offensive line was the best in the league. I'm sorry. I sound like a homer, but you're right. Like, how often did Brady go down? It just, and then when he did, it wasn't even like a big hit. I mean, you see, quarterbacks get walloped, especially the ones that play against the Bucs. But yeah, Tom Brady's he's not fast. He's crafty in the pocket. But yeah, he knows, obviously he's seen every defense in the world, and he knows how to audible into the perfect situation, which is another thing. If you want to go back and start, comparing him and poor Jameis Winston, there's a lot of things that happen pre-snap that Tom Brady is just better than everybody. So I think that's part of the game that, most, armchair quarterbacks don't take into consideration. It really never even came to light until like Peyton Manning started screaming all the Omahas and doing all the audibles he did, where people are like, what the hell is he even saying? Then you find out later. I saw an interview with Jeff Saturday, who used to play center with Peyton Manning, and he said everything that guy yelled was an audible for every person that was on the field. He was audibling every offensive lineman into a different assignment, which is just like insane. I mean, that is like, an intelligence level that it's you don't expect out of a jock at all. But yeah, that's the thing. When you're Tom Brady and you walk up to the line of scrimmage and you go, I know this defense because I know every defense. I've seen every defense 1,000 times. I know exactly what to do, which makes your running game better because he knows when to audible into a run play that's going to succeed and everything else. So it's just the whole thing. I like having a Tom Brady gargle fest. Oh, put them both right there, Daddy.
Well, you can note my upper lip in my picture.
I know. Yeah, it looks like you already have one. It's very, very nice. I love the comments in the segments here. Don't forget, guys, to share all of these streams that we do. We really do appreciate it, man. This show's been going on for almost 2 hours. Wow, is that normal?
Well, I mean, it helps when neither one of us show up drunk.
Yeah, I know. I just don't.
But drunk Johnny's fun, Johnny.
Sometimes, yeah. Maybe you'll see Drunk Johnny this Saturday at Divine Brewing in Palm Harbor, 8:00 show. I think there's free tickets, so if you want to go, show up and go to the show, everybody. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm working on more shows right now too. I actually booked like 2 more shows today. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming up. JohnnyBComedy.com. I want to do, and I've been talking to the powers that be about this. I want to do a comedy show for Bucks fans. I want to do like a Buccaneer themed comedy show where everybody, all the listeners, all the Bucks fans, all the viewers of Bucks Report and all the Bucks fans, not even Bucks Report people, but anybody, just we all come together, and I will book a couple of comics that are also Bucks fans, and we'll get up there. We'll do our normal material, but maybe we'll do some Bucks stuff too, like make fun of other teams or something. And mainly just have a party. It'll be a party that happens to have a comedy show at it. But I really want to do that. And I want to make it, I want to have maybe we'll do the comedy show. And then after the comedy show, just have a bunch of Bucks Report guys up there. And, have Rick there and Jay and whoever else is in town, the Greek. Well, we'll get everybody up there and have like a little after show, like a round table.
Absolutely.
That'd be good.
I think also I want to throw this out there for the people listening, and of course to you. Here I am pitching live ideas to you on the air. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What would be better than a comedy show? I don't know. But what we could also do at some point is either a Bucks Report or a Buccaneers roast.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. You guys sure you want to do that with me?
Well, maybe. I'm thinking if we only roast former players, we shouldn't jeopardize our credentials.
I like that. Okay, so we're not roasting each other. Okay, good.
Well. Here's the thing. I don't mind being roasted. I have a lot of fat that needs to be burnt off anyway.
Right.
But I envision someone roasting Alvin Harper, Trent Dilfer, Jeremy Stevens.
Oh, it'd be nice if we could get a couple of old bucks to be there and we could roast them. I happen to be friends with a few of them.
See, that's where I think we have a home run, is if we can get some of the guys there, some of the former players, and roast them, and then give them the opportunity, like they do on the shows, to roast us. It's only fair.
Or other media members, like, if they want to go after some people that maybe wrote bad articles about them in the past.
There you go. Revenge is a dish served cold. So let's do that.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. That is awesome. Hell yeah.
You see, what happens is I sit around smoking all day, and every once in a while I get a good idea.
Smoke every day. That needs old school music. Oh, yeah, check it out. Oh, we get funky here on Out of Bounds, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Get Dexter there. Dexter who? Not Dexter Manley. He will not show up. Not without a seance.
Well, he'll show up, but we're going to have to buy him some stuff, I think.
Paranormal investigations. Didn't he die? Didn't Dexter Manley die?
I'm pretty sure he died. Maybe we can get, he wasn't a buck, but I know I can get Lawrence Taylor there for about $40.
Oh no, poor LT. Oh yeah, that does sound like a good time though. With that, I think I'm gonna wrap her up, man. Thank you so much for popping on with me, dude.
Hey man, anytime we're here, we appreciate you. Make sure you check out Johnny's show on 102.5 The Bone. Make sure you check out all of his comedy. Go to his social media pages. We put everything he does up in the Bucks Report page story. Look for him to jump on some of our other live streams and harass our hosts. And again, hit the share button, hit the like button. Go to YouTube, subscribe, follow on Twitter. If you don't, you're not a b-hole, because that's cool. You're an a-hole. So don't be an a-hole, be a b-hole, and jump on Bucks Report and join us as we do it the way no one else can do it. Johnny, thank you for the Vine. Thank you for the time, brother. I'll reach out to you tomorrow, my friend.
Thanks, pal. Later on, dude. There you go. Yeah, he just said all the stuff I was going to say in my outro. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Johnny Dean, appreciate you. Harry, Tony, my boy, Tony, everybody in here, really appreciate it. Teresa and all the other folks. If I forgot you, I do appreciate you tuning in. Tell everybody about it. Share it, man. Let everybody know. And I'm going to get better and better at this stream thing. I mean, I've gotten so comfortable with regular radio that I just kind of go in and do it without even trying anymore. It's just mindless. But this is something I really love. This is awesome. So we're going to get better and better. And by the time the season starts, I'm going to be the best streamer in the history of streams. It's going to be amazing. All right. I'm late for dinner. You guys have a fantastic Sunday, and I'll be on the stream here soon. Bye-bye, B-holes.